Imagine you're walking alone down a dark street at 3 a.m. The fog is so thick you can barely see your own hand, and then you stumble upon something soft on the ground. You bend down. It's a woman. Her throat has been cut so deep that her head is almost severed from her body, and when you look at her abdomen, you realize it's completely open, organs exposed, some missing. This isn't a horror movie. This really happened 5 times in 1888 in London, and to this day, more than 130 years later, nobody knows who did it. His name went down in history as the most famous serial killer of all time, Jack the Ripper. And the worst part? He was never caught. London, 1888, Whitechapel, the most miserable neighborhood in the city. 80,000 people crammed into narrow, dark streets. Fog so dense you can't see a meter in front of you. Women prostituting themselves just to be able to afford a bed to sleep in. It is in this setting that Jack chooses his victims, all prostitutes, all vulnerable, all alone in the darkness. August 31st, 1888. Mary Ann Nichols. Throat cut. Abdomen opened with surgical precision. Doctors say the killer has anatomical knowledge. 8 days later, Annie Chapman. Same thing, only worse. He removes organs. Her uterus disappeared. He took it as a trophy. Panic spreads. The police have no leads, no fingerprints, no DNA, no cameras, only witnesses who saw shadows in the fog. September 30th, the night that changed everything. Jack kills 2 women on the same night. Elizabeth Stride at 1 a.m., but he is interrupted. Someone gets close and he has to run. And when you interrupt a serial killer in the middle of his work, he gets pissed. 45 minutes later, Catherine Eddowes, and what he does to her shows his fury. Mutilated face, abdomen opened from throat to groin. He removes the kidney and uterus. All this in less than 15 minutes. Days later, a letter arrives at the Central News Agency, written in red ink. "Dear boss, I keep hearing that the police have caught me, but they still haven't caught me." Signed, Jack the Ripper. It's the first time that name appears. He gave himself that name. But wait, it gets worse. Another letter arrives with a package. Inside, half a human kidney. "From hell. I'm sending you half the kidney I took from a woman. The other half I fried and ate. It was very tasty." It was Catherine Eddowes' kidney. November 9th, 1888. Mary Jane Kelly, 25 years old, the worst murder of all. She had a room, and that's where he kills her, with time, with privacy, and he uses every minute. What happened in that room was so brutal that the police officers who entered vomited on the spot. The body completely dismembered, the flesh torn away until the bones appeared, the organs removed and arranged on the table. Like an anatomy lesson, her heart was gone. He took it, and after that, silence. Jack disappeared into the fog. So who was he? Everyone has a theory. Montague Druitt, a doctor who committed suicide shortly after the murders. Coincidence? Aaron Kosminski, a Jewish butcher with mental health issues who hated women. The police were very suspicious of him. Prince Albert Victor, conspiracy theory that he was royalty. Unlikely, but people love it. For 130 years, nobody knew the truth. But in 2014, something incredible happened. A businessman named Russell Edwards bought a shawl at auction, a shawl that was supposedly found near Catherine Eddowes' body. He hired a molecular geneticist, Dr. Jari Louhelainen, to analyze the shawl, and they found DNA preserved for 126 years. They extracted DNA from bloodstains and semen from the shawl and compared it with living descendants of the suspects. The result? The DNA matched Aaron Kosminski, the Jewish butcher the police had always suspected. In 2019, they refined the analysis using mitochondrial DNA, and again, Kosminski. Kosminski was 23 years old at the time of the murders. He worked as a barber and butcher. He knew anatomy because of his job. He had paranoid schizophrenia. He heard voices telling him to do things. He was admitted to an asylum in 1891 and died there in 1919. Seems solved, right? But wait, the scientific community didn't accept that so easily. Several experts questioned the methodology. The shawl passed through many hands in 130 years. It could have been contaminated. Furthermore, mitochondrial DNA is not as specific as nuclear DNA. Thousands of people could have the same mitochondrial DNA. Some scientists said the margin of error was too large to confirm with 100% certainty. And there's another problem: the letters. Handwriting experts analyzed the letters of Jack the Ripper and Kosminski's handwriting. They don't match. So either the letters were fake or Kosminski wasn't Jack. In 2024, researchers at the University of Liverpool conducted a new analysis. They used more modern DNA sequencing techniques, and they discovered something interesting. There was DNA from multiple people on the shawl, not only Kosminski's, but other people's as well, which further complicates the story. Some researchers now believe that Jack may have been more than one person, that some of the murders may have been copies, that the "From Hell" letter may have been from an imitator. There's also a new theory gaining traction. What if the 5 canonical murders weren't all committed by the same person? Modern forensic analysis shows differences in methods. Some cuts were more precise, others more brutal and disorganized. Some bodies were positioned, others abandoned. It's possible that after the first murders, other killers began to imitate the style to escape blame. After all, if everyone is looking for a Jack the Ripper, your individual crime goes unnoticed. So in 2025, what do we really know? We know that 5 women were brutally murdered in Whitechapel in 1888. We know that the killer had anatomical knowledge. We know that he was never caught at the time. Aaron Kosminski is the most likely suspect based on DNA evidence, but it's not 100% conclusive. It could have been him, it could have been someone else, it could have been several people. The truth is, even with all the modern technology, some mysteries remain mysteries. But you know what's no mystery? The impact Jack had on the world. He was the first serial killer to become a media sensation. He created the mold of what we think of when we say serial killer. The killer who mocks the police, who leaves clues, who disappears without a trace. Every horror movie, every series about serial killers, every crime show you've ever seen owes something to Jack the Ripper. 5 women had their lives stolen in the most brutal way possible, and the man who did it, he became a legend. He became a myth. He became entertainment. This is the story of Jack the Ripper. Probably Aaron Kosminski, but we'll never be 100% sure. Whitechapel is a tourist neighborhood today. People tour the places where the bodies were found. The story lives on. So what do you think? Do you believe the DNA evidence, or do you think the mystery will never be solved? Leave your comments below. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. There are many more dark cases out there waiting to be told. Until next time, And be careful when walking alone in the fog.